All right, so I picked up a 1080 Founders Edition. I don't recommend getting the Founders Edition. I think it's a horrible value for what it is. However, I picked one up. Basically, the reason why is because I wanted to personally benchmark it myself. I can read benchmarks all day long, but a lot of the reviewers are saying there's like a 25-35% gap between a 1080 and a 980 Ti or a Titan X. And when I looked at their scores and I'm looking at what I usually get, I just didn't see it. So I kind of want to just see for myself. So I picked one up. What I'm doing here is I'm basically just overclocking the 1080 to the most I possibly can. And I'm going to pit it against my 980 Ti, which is overclocked massively as well. 1600 on the core, 8000 on the memory. Has a custom BIOS to get rid of GPU boost. So the volts are basically locked at 1.255 when I'm gaming, so there's no variation in the core. I did find when I was overclocking the 1080 Founders Edition that GPU boost is Satan. It is horrible. I cannot stand it. It makes it very difficult to do anything at all. But I, I just pushed as far as I could. It took me like 6 hours to get a decent stable overclock at 2050-ish. Memory is 11,000 megahertz. And that's basically it. And I'm just going to pit them against each other in a couple games that I play, and we'll see how it turns out. Spoiler alert, it's about 10%. And we're starting out here with the Witcher 3. Basically what I did was I just picked the worst environment. It's thick woods, it's raining, just stuff everywhere, and I just run straight through the woods for like 25 seconds. And then I kind of put the videos side by side so you can see kind of the frames per second difference in between the 980 Ti and the 1080. So that was the Witcher 3. Next up, we got Rise of the Tomb Raider. The footage for the 1080 is messed up. I don't know what happened when I recorded it, but it's basically just crap. The numbers are a little difficult to see, but basically what you can see here is the difference between how my 980 Ti and the 1080 are handling this. Because I have the custom BIOS on my 980 Ti, it's locking the core at 1.255 while I'm in the game, so all my stats are basically static. 1600 core, 8000 megahertz memory, etc. Now the 1080 with GPU boost, you could see this more in the Witcher footage, but it still does it a little bit here. Will constantly manipulate its voltage, and by doing that, it will cause the core clock to vary. And that's a little bit of a frustration with GPU boost and also overclocking with GPU boost. All in all, though, it's outperforming my 980 Ti, and it's doing it with a lot less energy. So it is extremely energy efficient. I'll give it that. And first up, we got Firestrike, synthetic benchmark, designed to basically be best case scenario, is not really going to dictate real world performance. But there you have it. It's a great benchmark for testing stability, stuff like that. Valley, Heaven, little old. Heaven I use for like long-term stability testing, but these numbers are almost within like margin of error for Valley and Heaven. So they're very close. Rise of the Tomb Raider, there's a pretty sizable gap. Again, it's about 10%. Both 980 Ti and 1080 are playable, and I seriously doubt you would see the difference between them because they're so close. I mean, they're well over 60 in both cases. Witcher, the 1080 did allow me to play at those settings without dropping under 60 at all. I have a G-Sync panel, so it didn't really make that big of a difference. But if you don't have a G-Sync panel, then that could definitely help. You could lock it at 60 because you definitely notice those drops under 60. And that's basically it. That's my experience with the 1080. Again, overclocking it was annoying. It was a pain, and I don't feel like it overclocked too well. But I feel like my experience, what I actually achieved on the 1080 was about average. It seemed like most people are getting about the same thing. I don't think Pascal really likes more volts. Every time I gave my card more volts to see if I could get higher stability for the core clocks, I would get crashes. So I basically couldn't increase the voltage on my card at all. And again, NVIDIA put a single 8-pin on there. which is enough. Honestly, I don't think that any more is really going to do too much. I just don't think that the new chip likes the volts. That's basically it, though. This isn't a video showcasing the 1080 performance. It's really just me wanting to experience the 1080 for myself and to see what the differences are between, of course, my card and the 1080, and that's exactly what I did here. If there's any questions, of course, you can ask and I can answer them for you. But that's pretty much it. So you guys have a good one.